think if it's value, what we're doing, you know, why not?
Yeah, I think it's like I said, I think people would be really helpful for publish, and I explained the predecessors of my pitch, what we do here. So,
Okay.
about the design. And that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get this started. The meeting of the Santa Clara County, Santa Clara Valley Open Space Authority Expenditure Plan Oversight Committee is now called to order. Clerk, can you take a roll call?
Andrea Wheeler,
He's got your phone out of the car.
we'll come back. Caitlin Dempsey,
Here.
David Burkhardt,
Here.
Dennis Watson,
Here,
Jeff Miko is not present, Linda Marquez. Here. Lisa Rosenblum, not present. And we have a quorum.
Yeah, thank you. This time, any members of the public will have the opportunity to address the committee on any form that's not on the agenda. Are there any members of the public on?
If there are any members of the public who are joining us via Zoom who would like to comment on any item not on the agenda, please raise your hand now and I can call on you. There are none.
Okay, and we have one member of the public present. Are there any comments that you'd like to make that aren't on the agenda?
No.
All right. All right, thank you. Okay, we want to look at the approval of the April 2nd, 2026 meeting minutes. So we're approving the minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I have a motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any public comments?
Would you mind repeating the, who made the motion in the second?
I motion. I seconded.
Thank you. And Andrea Wheeler is now present. So I'm taking the vote. Andrea Wheeler. Yes. Caitlin Dempsey Rice.
Yes.
David Burkhardt.
Yes.
Dennis Watson.
yes,
Linda Marquez.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, members of the public have an opportunity to comment on any matter that's on the agenda.
Through the chair, would you like to provide an opening report or if you have one?
I do. Today we're going to look at the report that we plan to submit to the Board of Directors. And following, then we'll decide when we'll do that and who will make the presentation.
Report.
So the new business item 1 is to review, finalize, and recommend the acceptance of the EPOC annual report from fiscal year 24-25. Essentially, we're here to ratify the report before that gets submitted. So, first of all, do we have any comments from committee on that? April?
I did have one thing would like to have added to this report, when I was helping to write it. I didn't put it in because it wasn't discussion at the last one, but it came up in the course of writing the report is trying to find like the past EPOC reports easily.
Yes.
So I couldn't find it. I actually had to, what I did was I went back to the past meetings for both the board of directors and for the EPOC to like dig through their agenda packets. And I felt on the actual EPOC page, it might be good to have those past reports accessible to the public. And I would like to add that as a recommendation, into the report.
I just got done complaining about the same thing that I couldn't find but I had my own copy that I could go look at. But that would be great if it can, since the public can attend here, it's a public document, right? Yeah.
Through the chair, first, I want to double check, are we still in the opening report item or has the committee moved on?
This is still the.
Opening report,
Yes.
okay, thank you, and then, they are on the website in our funding, like in our finance and our document resources, but absolutely can look at.
Yeah,
The linking it, but just, they are there.
I would like, because we're in the report, I would like to add it as a recommendation that it also be the list of the past EPOC reports be available on the actual EPOC page.
Okay, so,
That would be a future item.
yeah, so we would add that to future, or this report as a recommendation for, next year. So,
I mean, I would add it to under the list of recommendations in this current report.
So back to the point of order in terms of which agenda item we're on right now. If we're on the chairperson's opening report, it sounds like when we move to item 1 and discussing the edits to the report, you guys can decide to add it then.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, since the, can we move on to the actual report now?
Yeah.
Okay, so, we have, members who have made some, recommendations or adjustments to the report. You want to repeat what you said, that you might have that recommendation?
Through the chair card, sorry,
Yes,
if we may, perhaps we could just talk through the process of what we'll do with the report today, and then we can start talking about specific edits
okay,
and things. And by that, I mean, I guess staff could support by explaining what we intend to engage the committee in today, which is, you've received the draft report that the subcommittee members wrote. And what we usually do with this meeting is we'll actually pull it up in a Word document and track changes and work our way through it as a group and make edits and additions.
Okay.
So if the committee is ready to embark on that process, we can get that loaded up.
okay. And we're ready now, there's no, other comments made before we do that? We're ready, Robert. Yeah, let's do that.
And through the chair. So I'm Caroline Hernandez, clerk of the board. I help facilitate the subcommittee who worked on the report. I will stand up here and we can go through the report. I printed it out for you, for the committee, with the lines numbered. So if you have a comment about a particular line, you can let me know and I will be up here editing it in real time. And then we can go through page by page.
Who wants to start?
I've read this like 5 times, someone else.
Yeah, as we went, as we read through this, are you satisfied with the changes that were incorporated from the last meeting? Okay. So right now, we're actually going to talk about some final changes to the report. And Caitlin, do you want to start with the specifics? And I guess you want to refer to a line item, so Carolyn, you can date it in real time.
Or is there anything on page 1 that we want to take a look at or discuss?
No.
Okay.
Move on to page one.
Okay,
If I, with everybody, yeah.
Yeah, the only changes made to that section, just so you guys have background, is just aligning the language to match the review of this year. There was some language in the last year's report that had a deeper audit of the audit. So I adjusted the language to, that we support the conclusions of the audit because we didn't review it deeply this year.
No.
My understanding last year, you actually,
Yeah, we did. I tried to catch all that. and I
yeah,
probably just
so,
gave it in
that's a significant change in that first section.
Can you point that out? more?
It's under, starting on line 17, I changed the language on line 18 and concluded that it supported the finding that measure Q and T, blah, blah, blah. Rather than, the language last year was more,
It was more in depth because we did review it. I believe. I can't.
it said, where is it? And finds that it confirms that measure Q and T funds, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think we can make that statement this year.
I actually think we probably couldn't have made it last year either. I mean, we didn't find anything in the audit to.
Yeah.
Question it, but we can't, yeah.
Page two. Alarming on page two there.
I mean, page 2 is mostly from the preamble that's always in these reports
That's right.
too, that defines the purpose of the EPOC committee, so
Right.
there wasn't really anything substantial since that's just language that typically gets repeated every year.
That's right.
Starting, where is that? So obviously, starting on 83, which dives into the EPOC, the only substantial changes would have been to the list of members. So now we have 7 members.
Right.
Yes,
Through the chair, if I may, on line 88, as well as on page 4, line 115, just some cleanup if staff can move, Santa Clara Valley Open Space Authority. County.
okay.
Okay,
I make that mistake all.
I do too.
Just noting it down
Yeah.
that staff can,
Definitely make that change.
thank you.
There's always something that sneaks through.
and then, sorry, Justina, what was the other line that you said that?
Page 388, page 4, 115,
15.
and I have it.
Okay, yeah. Put Valley there, right? Yeah. Put Valley.
You should just put in like a year use.
Yeah, sure. Fine, do it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if we catch it this year, it will be there. So the only question I had, was, I didn't know what the amounts were allocated in the budget. Was that updated on 131, line 131?
Yeah, I pulled that out of the report.
Yes, and that is the
That's
correct number.
correct. Okay, that was because that was
That was
something.
pulled directly from the report that Open Space Authority produces.
Okay,
It's on page 99 of the annual report.
okay. All right.
Yes. And we would have included the board resolution in the document binder as well.
Okay. And then I did double check the EPOC expenses against it. We were under it by 26 cents, I believe.
Maybe we can get cookies again?
Line 153, I thought we agreed not look at anything under $2,000, not $1,000.
It was 1,000.
It was 1,000?
Yeah.
I thought we made it 2.
No.
No, we didn't. Okay, we made it 1. All right. Okay. 6 myself, but.
Any other changes? Any other items that you want to address?
I thought there was one question about, so there was some employee living on one of the
Yeah.
properties.
Yeah, but
And
that
then
was
see-
relevant to the audit,
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was like background, so I don't,
But
didn't see a reason to have it in
Uh,
there.
to your point, Dennis, I was actually just reading that part myself on line page 8, item number 3, so line 229. Which I believe that the committee added is that just about like this year, that was the contextual information that would have been helpful. So it's really, there's a more broad request about various contextual information. And so that, what the housing was identified in lines 216 to 221 as part of the discussions that occurred this past year, and that more context would be helpful. And then the outcome is.
Yeah, because we
line
had
item number 3, the
we had a little bit on, it's a, yeah, then they're on.
So yeah, because the committee may not choose an employee housing associated cost every year, but no matter what the committee chooses, the request is
Yeah, I mean,
supplement the context that may help with review.
I put broad language because of that, there is only one instance of housing, and I doubt we're gonna. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna review next year, but I'm. Put in language that just made it, I mean, there were questions about the water rights, there's
Yeah.
questions about housing. So it's just, if staff next year says, hey, this might be good background context to supply inside the binder.
Yeah, we asked for
Think about it.
just a broad summary of that,
Mhm.
with maybe the policy and what's going on.
Yeah, so, but just to bring your eyes to it, Chair, that line item 3 recommendation, it's not asking for any particular policy, just that staff, depending on the transaction selected, kind of looks broadly at what contextual, whether it be it policy or just even a paragraph to explain some context, is kind of how I would interpret
Yes,
this.
you,
Okay.
that's exactly how I'm intended. So I'm glad.
Is that
I'm glad
fine?
it read well. Okay.
no, I think the question was that if they're getting rent free, is that part of the compensation package? And should we clarify that somewhere? It's kind of I'm not saying that person shouldn't live there, but is that part of their overall compensation package because they're getting rent free property plus they're getting paid, so.
I don't know if it's the,
Yeah, I'm not
it's
saying,
under the scope of the EPOC to determine the policy,
Yeah.
but maybe, just like an explanation of what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I thought I'm only bringing it up because I thought it came up last time, so. But I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, I just, this is part of the compensation package for that particular person or
I mean, I agree with David. I don't think it's really part of our wheelhouse to look at, and so I don't think it should be like mentioned in the report.
so,
yeah, good.
you're good? Yeah. All right, yeah, and I think the rest of the committee is okay with just saying, again, there's a question and it's I don't think it has to be explained any reason. Someone else might have a issue with that, but it's not, I don't think it's EPOC's issue.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to bring something up. I don't remember if we made any conclusions, but I reviewed a transaction that was under a very large MSA. And I had some questions about the fact that there's not a cap on the MSA and that a task order under the MSA doesn't require, the same signature level that, like a 50,000, cost of $50,000 did not require the same signature level as a cost not under an MSA. But I thought we talked about maybe getting just an overview of how the MSA system works and how the approval process works for that, because it's very different than the other types of, financing expenses. So did we capture that?
Yes.
If you want to?
I mean, we didn't capture NSA specifically, but there is language in here talking about the procurement policies and background materials necessary for the EPOC to understand transactions and how they're set up, how they're approved. So there is broad language as a recommendation for next year to provide that inside the binders.
But I had actually requested that we get a presentation on the MSA process.
Okay, so
It should be the first meeting.
we add that to the recommendation that you want a presentation?
I guess I'd like to hear feedback on whether it's feasible or not. I don't want to be asking for something that's unreasonable, but is that something that's feasible?
To the chair, yes.
So put that as a request then, like a.
Okay, so we will add,
Add something.
we'll add a,
He says-
summary, policy summary of MSA.
Is there a particular subsection that we want to add that to?
Go under the, based on the sample transactions audit, that's where the issue came up.
Yeah, so it'd be,
Page 8.
250, line 255 starts that section of recommendations, so somewhere in there, I would say. put it in there.
Related to future material.
Go under line 195
Oh.
as
Okay.
part of the transaction review, and then 255 as part of our summary.
Okay,
And if I can, maybe it's an expansion of the line 258, 259 that already talks about procurement policy. So that's about providing the documents, but maybe we just add something to that about and a presentation from
Okay.
staff.
Is that
that makes sense.
amended to that? Okay.
I'm sorry, add it to line
So-
159.
We have recommendations in two sections, so there's the discussion within, we have it divided into transactions and payroll summaries. So,
Mhm.
the recommendations show up twice.
Yes.
So there's the recommendations within each section where we would need to add the presentation of NSA language, and then that section you're currently on is it's just
The summary.
repeating it and to put
Okay.
it all in one place.
Okay, so the first part where it appears,
3.
193.
193,
Oh, I see. Okay.
item 1. Is the broad language about procurement policy information, so what kind of language you want, Andrea?
Including, so it says included in the future cycles, and then, something like, the Open Space Authority staff provide an overview of the MSA policy in particular at an upcoming, EPOC meeting.
MSA policy?
Process.
Any future meeting?
And then can we spell out MSA as master services agreement?
I would request the first meeting. In case it comes up in the transaction. But whatever works out.
Okay, now we're adding this part.
We conclude right for the conclusions.
Okay.
And 258
Yeah, now it's for
and 259.
259, yeah, 259. 260. Very good.
Okay.
A period there, Caroline.
There you go. Okay.
Any other changes, adjustments, modifications?
The only thing would be the recommendation to put the past approved report
Yeah.
up on the EPOC webpage, but it kind of doesn't fit into these two sections. It's more about discovery for the public of the work that this EPOC does. Make it a little bit easier for them to find our reports.
Probably be under that recommendations related to future reviews, materials and binder organization. Maybe you can add website to it
As a heading.
as a heading.
Oh, it's the heading.
Just make any change to the website. Put the reports on the EPOC.
Materials binder and website.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, it's really its own category recommendation related to public facing EPOC materials. They make past reports available via the EPOC page on the Open Space Authority website,
Recommendations related.
the public facing document, EPOC documents or reports.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Make past approved EPOC annual reports available via the EPOC committee page on the Open Space Authority website.
Available via e-
Personally, I would find that out.
Yeah.
I was having trouble finding. Like you said.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody on this for the first time, I mean, I dove back in past to see what the past reports look like, and it took a while to find them.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, how did you find it? I didn't find it.
I mean, I can find anything that's public facing, but I know how to find it, but a lot of people are not able to do that.
I just lost patience. I was buried with other reports. I didn't have
Those
time.
things.
Oh, just trying to clarify,
Yeah.
the EPOC annual oversight reports. Just to not mix it up with like the annual status reports.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and then does this section need to go on the page before?
I would just leave it at the end.
Okay.
Because that is a summary, and we don't really have a section in the report that talks about discoverability of, the public facing documents, so I don't know.
Need to go back about 3 years, because we spent a lot of
Yeah,
time on
it's
this.
where you guys had recommendations.
Every time they update the pages, things disappear, like it
Yeah.
gets there, and then whoever's
think
updating
it's
doesn't see this as they see it a different way, I can see how they see it, oh, it's under funding. But that's not how the public sees it.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this comes up.
yeah, I had read some of the past year's
Yeah.
report, and I did see the language about discoverability, which,
I
you know.
think you just leave it there at the end, because we didn't talk, the previous stuff is stuff we talked about in our last meeting.
Yeah.
This is being added now. So
Yeah,
you can
I
just leave
didn't
it there.
add it during the writing because I was trying to remain faithful to what was discussed at the previous meeting, and I thought I'd bring it up at this meeting as something that I ran into while helping write the report.
Mhm.
So like that can go right there, it doesn't have to go previous.
Do you think that, and it doesn't have to be a formal process, but that, before our first, meeting of the new cycle, which is 2 meetings from now, for us to look at the EPOC section of the website and see, is there any glaring boo-boos? Is there some omissions that got skipped out? Maybe take a picture of this year's and then next year. Things could disappear, and they have. So we could make the changes as soon as possible, make it easy for the committee, and then if there's something missing that maybe the public needs to access. So, and this won't be we're not gonna make a formal request to do this, but maybe it's just practice that we, it's one of the things that we look at right at the beginning. So the cycle begins or ends in September when we,
In the fall generally.
yeah,
That was our last.
yeah, and then we can look at it. So
Yeah, through the chair, maybe we as staff can just kind of note, it sounds like this particular January coming up in general, which is when we usually do meet to start the new cycle. We've got a presentation we'll provide for some context setting, and so maybe we'll just kind of in general think about other context setting type things we can do, which could include that review of the website pages so that you all can make sure you're well oriented to the resources that are available online as you're approaching the review, as well as looking at it through that lens of the public perspective and discoverability, transparency, and all of that. So maybe we can just look at that agenda a little differently for next January and make sure there's a really robust chunk of time for context setting and not just the formality of we're starting the process.
I mean, that makes sense to me. I agree with that approach.
And if I may, before we move on from the edits on the screen, just a super grammar thing, we don't need all that extra capitalization in the public facing documents.
Okay.
Just to make sure the EPOC looks like good grammar notes.
Also, I just want to say one more thing too, I thought this room call had walking us how to do this review was extremely helpful, particularly if you're brand new. The first year I came on board, it was like I was came on board right when it first happened, so I was clueless. I was actually clueless second year, but you really helped me a lot with that, and I would recommend. I don't know if it has to be a bullet item, but and I know by next year I'll have forgotten. I think you taught me anyway, so I think the Zoom, it's half hour with them all was outstanding. So that really helped.
I would say if you think that's a recommendation that should be provided every year,
Yeah.
let's put it in the record. Just to capture it, because it can get forgotten.
Yeah, it was outstanding. Did a great job. Of course, I had to cancel 14 times, but
You returning members are wondering what you missed out on.
it was good.
Yes, now. So do we want to add that as one of our general recommendations to have a how-to session provided?
yeah, we're pretty refresher.
Pressure.
Oh, yeah,
Pressure.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you can make it optional. If
Oh, yeah, optional.
Members need it, they can request it, just so we optimize Justine's time because she.
Yeah, each year, I mean, and Andrea and I have been on this thing for the longest. Dennis, each year I start with like, what did we do last year? Trying to get trying to get wrapped around what we're supposed to do. And it's always, and then once we start doing it, at least the veterans, then it becomes like pretty rote. But there's always anxiety, and I kind of feel for the new people coming on, what are we doing? Samples from previous years, like, oh, this is a good example of what we're supposed to do. I like that idea.
I had to do labor for the first time and I never did it before.
Yeah. I mean, and it was new
New to me,
everybody, yeah. Is that warrant a new meeting or just part of a meeting or? I think we're restricted to 4 meetings a year, right?
Yeah.
It just says Zoom call, so.
So the committee is restricted to 4 meetings a year. What was done this year was Zoom calls one-on-one. That kind of focused, at that point, the committee members had their transactions. So if you were looking at a grant, we were able to help really walk through the specific. Because a grant, some of these transactions, as you all know, come with very extensive background documents. Or if you were looking at a payroll, the different types of things you'd be seeing and doing that review. So it was pretty customized in that way, that it was oriented around the transaction chosen. So I don't know that what you experience would be the same as something in the public forum, of a context setting kind of thing. So if we wanted, what I first heard from the committee was an optional one-on-one virtual call to review transaction review process. And I would suggest, instead of adding it as a new section, that it's just part of the review materials and binder organization feedback, that first section of feedback that originally started on line 255. And yeah, but that it would be an added bullet to there of that staff would provide an optional review orientation session with committee members or something like that.
Yeah, I agree that 276 belongs up in the review materials section. It doesn't need its own
That's
subheading.
what I was thinking, it can just go up there.
Okay.
And then just for clarity, is a group session okay as long as we don't need a quorum?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Is a group session or, just more than one person okay as long as we don't?
As long as it's under 4, so
Yeah, so it's not.
the cohorts of 2 or 3
Yeah.
at most.
So if next year there's a couple people who have the same issues and they do.
Yeah, and we were able to do cohort for 2 of them, and
Okay.
so, yeah, so it took thank you for considering staff time, but we can also, try to work together to.
Well, sometimes it's nice to be with your peer also. You end up having
Same questions.
great questions.
No, this was, what I provided is specific to the item that was assigned, so I have, the project I was assigned to review, someone that just needed help, he's supposed to be walking through what
Yeah.
I'm. So I'm looking to do a group session because it was really tailored to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, does this capture the sentiment?
I would want to rephrase it as a recommendation.
Recommend instead of encouraged.
Well, it's really that we're recommending staff make themselves available
Okay.
for those, right? Like if
Yeah,
EPOC is recommending staff does a thing.
Okay,
EPOC is recommending staff makes themselves
so
available.
recommend staff.
offer. Set up.
I would just start with recommend.
Staff,
Um, for,
Review orientation or something like that.
Yeah.
So optional.
Offer,
It's optional, right?
offer. Optional
review orientation
sessions
Yeah, that works.
to
Okay.
committee, to
To
EPOC.
EPOC committee members, or sorry, committee is redundant.
It happens a lot in this.
EPO committee.
And I don't think we have to add any more details to that.
Yeah.
Okay. If, oh, go ahead.
Okay, it's sorry, and through the chair, the last section that we added. There we go, recommendations related to public facing EPOC documents. I noticed that its format now is a little different than the previous formats where there is a based on comment and then the recommendation. So pointing that out in case the committee wants to add maybe another context setting sentence to the report.
I mean, we can put in language saying that based on the discussion during today's meeting, we make the following request. But, I don't know how you wanna formalize that language.
Based on,
Perhaps it's based on the discussion or
Based on the review of the draft 2024-2025 annual report.
and the challenge of finding, previous reports, something to that effect.
This is not a new topic.
Yeah. Was this, Andrea, was this a prior recommendation? I don't remember any specifics. When you looked at, the website and discoverability of documents.
And, the website was set up differently, and so our specific recommendations were kind of more aligned with the way it was set up. Part of it was the EPOC page itself was so hard to find, and it is way easier to find. But so it was not necessarily, that wasn't necessarily where someone would have been looking at that time.
That's it. So I would say, based on the EPOC review, the annual oversight report of a meeting, I mean, it's something about the current. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, sorry. I mean, I don't know, I'm good with that.
I think that looks.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, I think you captured it.
And then
Through the chair, we're just having a lot of fun with grammar and structure today. Back to the other one we just added, which now my brain is trying to remember, I guess it would be the section that starts on line 255. I think we actually don't need to say recommend because we say in that context setting sentence that the committee makes the following recommendations. So I do think it's just that, I don't know. Sorry, now my
No,
brain is really
That's
reading.
good. That's, eyeballs are great for this kind of a process, especially when it's done in real time.
So I do think you could just capitalize staff and remove recommend.
uh,
How many adults does it take to write a sentence?
Used to co-pilot. I'm gonna try that next time.
All right, so. Good stuff. Thank you. Anything else?
Through the chair, so if the committee feels like the report is ready to be finalized, we can make a motion to accept, the committee accept the report and that staff can make editorial edits based on formatting,
Clean it up.
clean it up, correct?
Administrative edit.
Administrative.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, are there any public comments? No.
Oh, unless
Is the
Susan,
public,
In your
Uh,
public,
yes, is she permitted to ask a question?
you may.
Okay, several times. To the chair. Several times through the report, I see the abbreviations RASCI. And I'm sure it's perfectly clear to you what that stands for, but it is completely mysterious to me, a member of the public.
It is spelled out the first time.
Then
Find out
then
where
I
put
missed it.
Yeah, that was asked by me.
Yeah, but I gotta figure out where I put it.
You know, I asked some questions, I guess it has.
It's RA.
Well, if you did a search for Racy. Okay, maybe see where it's at.
It's
There's a request to actually define it, but I'm not so sure it's actually.
It's RAI,
No,
It's RASCI, I believe.
Okay, I thought I had spelled it out the first time, but maybe.
And I know it came up in the last meeting,
Yeah,
we asked
so
the same thing.
that is a good thing to point out, so I do agree we should spell it out and maybe have a one sentence explanation of it.
and then can someone remind me what RACI stands for?
Responsible, accountable, support, consult, and inform. Whereas the.
Support and
Consult. And then inform.
So the first time it shows up is page 7, item 3, line was 196.
Right.
Okay.
Pretty much the top of it. Yeah.
Does the staff want to be courageous and put a one sentence definition of it?
Well, I was just doing a quick internet search to help think about what's the easiest way to explain it. And so include a definition and explanation of the RACI framework, and then maybe after framework, Caroline, if I can offer, it would say to identify or to provide clarity of roles and really then it's, sorry, and related project staffing. How did it framework to provide clarity of roles and related project staffing. Yeah, I think I'll let the committee review, but I do believe that that's the intention that we talked about.
So RACI is a project management framework that defines who is responsible for doing the work, accountable for the outcome, supports the work, is consulted for input, and is informed of the progress or decisions.
Yeah, if that's the, sorry, I was trying to fit it into that current sentence, but if you want to give the full definition of RACI, let's go.
I just have one question. When we looked at the race here, we talked about it. It had some funding associated with it. Wasn't, David, wasn't that part of what we,
Initially, the idea, and maybe I opened up this can of worms a year ago, where there was a question when we were doing the let's say the time card review of where the timing of these various sections of the project occur. So it's a project is a project. That's basic project management. There's a start, finish, and there's money. And then typically in the beginning, you have planning requirements, definition, you have, the budgeting, and then as you move on, then there's the implementation, there's the development, and then there's the, then finally, there's the final implementation, there's like level of effort work, it's a sustaining thing. So even without understanding exactly what's going on in a project, you can say, well, the planning part should not come towards the end, and the budgeting process should not come at the end. That should be at the beginning. So that I was curious on how the various roles, not necessarily the individuals themselves, but project guys would be involved, the grant planners, and then the seasonal workers are, they're gonna be charging time later on and that sort of thing. And typically, you know, you see these in the bar charts, the Gantt charts.
Yeah, Gantt charts.
Yeah, and, so, it becomes, you know, when you're looking at a project, it's just in my experience, you might have a 30-page.
Point of it for us, though, why did we feel like it would be helpful to us?
We saw charges, being made. But we didn't see, you know, I didn't see what labor group, what do you call them?
Yeah, okay, the department.
Yeah.
So I understand now, we didn't have finances associated with what I see, it was.
So it was more about being able to correlate that the staff putting time to the project
Right.
was in fact anticipated to be working on the project
Right.
during that
Yeah.
same time frame. So yeah, it was absolutely not about hard dollar expectations so much as just even knowing that, to David's point, this is in a grant seeking phase and there's a lot of grant staff time versus this is in a shoveling phase and there's a lot of open space technician time. And if you're seeing 90% open space technicians and all of a sudden you've got some weirdo doing something, it could just flag that question. So it was about helping with helping the committee understand that the staff activity was in line with kind of project
Exactly.
expectations.
Where you were in the project.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think where we are is not that we're making a recommendation to include a definition. What was being requested is include the definition in the report. The first time we use the word racy in the report, give the definition.
Well, and I think this is the first time we use racing. So that's, we're challenged with needing, right? Is that why we landed on this line item?
Yes.
So it's not. Okay, so what's 197?
So I would
Okay, and
probably,
I think that's the thing is what our request is not to include a definition and explanation. We want the RACI for each labor project.
Right.
And that is defined on line 220, well, what was 225 on the printed version, which is to provide the most recent RACI for the selected payroll transaction.
so I would remove item 3 all out, because I'm noticing I put it under audit recommendations for transaction, it should be under the time card audit recommendations.
Oh, so and along with
Since
providing
it's-
the RACI document, also provide a definition and explanation of it.
Yeah, but it's misplaced.
Yeah, yeah.
I put it in the wrong place, so
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
move it all the way out of. Just copy and paste it, move it, cut and paste it. Down under the measure, the time credit audit recommendation, so it's in its proper place.
Okay, so after,
Probably the first one.
Yeah, it should be the new number
Define
2.
and provide.
So
Oh.
item 1 basically can be replaced with that.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, no, I feel those are two distinct
Are they?
things from you guys.
Yeah.
So one is talking about the context of the RACI and the other is providing the actual like grid of the RACI.
It should be moved out of the transaction section though, since it's related to personnel. And payroll.
Right.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I agree. I think you're adding it into, yes, in this section, measure Q and T payroll time card audit recommendation. However, there are 2 points.
Okay,
As I recall from the last meeting, the committee is requesting the RACI chart if it's available. And there was a lengthy discussion on what is a RACI chart. And so you were also requesting a definition. So it's kind of a 2-piece
okay,
request around RACI. So I think by just adding that second line as
as Carolyn has it right
yeah,
now.
as has been done, that you've got, I think the request I heard last. meeting.
Yeah, I agree, that makes sense.
Okay.
There's a 2 problem.
Yeah.
And I think once we actually see
Yeah.
the report, I think I hope it answers more questions than it brings up.
Yeah.
You know, we've not seen one, but yeah, we'll see one next year, hopefully, and, then, you know, and be, oh, great, this is super. That's my thought at least, so. And, you know, and I did ask if it's easy enough to put in, I mean, will you have to work hours to, you know, reconfigure this and
I'll find out.
okay.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. You know, we don't want to be, people adding a whole lot of, you know, effort to.
And paper.
Yeah, I mean, so far, you know, we think we got it, under control. And some of the stuff that we're doing by, putting project names with, pivot tables and stuff, that's gonna help greatly. And, so we'll have a look, and then next year we'll maybe say, maybe we don't need it. Who knows at this point? All right.
So I just want to thank you for the public comment, because this is the kind of input that helps us take a step back and see it through the lens of the public and how understandable this report is. So just want to say thank you.
Carolyn, just double checking, that movement is in the first section, how about in the summary? At the end. So it would be number 3. Cutting.
Oh, down here, okay. Did I pass it?
It would
Oh, right
be,
here.
yeah, 273. But and then you would have to remove, if you scroll up a little bit more, you would have to remove 265.
Payroll.
This is for the binder. That section. Like, are we not putting the racy stuff in the binder?
The binder should have the definition, so I agree, I don't think we should remove 265.
Okay.
And
Okay. And then the button you don't remove from the first section too?
no, because those were, that's about the transaction itself, and that got moved down here to the payroll time card. So that's about the transaction review. And in the binder, we want the definition and explanation, and what we're just pasting in,
Okay.
right? So I just am saying, I don't think it needs to be removed,
I understand.
yeah.
Okay, I think I got confused because usually the summary is a copy paste from.
It's just divided a little differently. This,
Because usually it's a cumulative kind of summary at the end, but now it's in.
it's, yeah, it's binder, transactions, time card, and now public facing, kind of categorized.
Okay.
The public's confused.
But would, then would the, somehow every year in the binder that, there would, Racy would be defined somehow in an appendix?
In the context setting documents and,
Yeah.
and the appendix, yes, there would be able to have the broad definition of RACI for the committee members to reference,
Okay.
as well as then the project specific RACI for the payroll
Okay,
projects that were, transactions that were selected.
I'll allow it.
And
Yeah, thanks.
we,
Yeah.
we may have a follow-up question from the public.
Yeah, the public's confused. Because the public doesn't have a copy of the printout that has the line numbers on it. So she's not sure quite where you're putting all these wonderful things. And I just want to make sure that there's a major title that says status of 23-24 EPOC recommendations. And then there's the 24-25 EPOC recommendations. And I just want to make sure that everything's going in 24-25 and nothing's going in 23-24.
Correct. Everything we've been doing has been added to the sections below the item 5, 2024, 2025. It's been in two places, in the page 7 review notes, as well as then in the page 8 to 9, 24, 25. Those have been the two places we've been editing.
Okay, got it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Justine, just to address your question, and let me know where this is not flowing properly. There's the discussions under section 1, like what came up during the audit and recommendations out of that, and then in section 2, what came out of the payroll, and specific to those, and then the summary of those, some of those overlap. So they just become one thing, so then that's why it's separated out into, here's the binder recommendations, here's, there was only one thing that came out, that was unique to the transaction audits. And then there were the recommendations that came out of the time card audit that are specific to that. So that's how that ending summary. So if there's anything that didn't flow over, let us know.
I think, yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Should we ask for public comment again?
The public is rests.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, public.
And staff. Thank you.
Okay, we're at a point now where, we can say, push the go button. And, unless there's any other comments, is there a motion to approve? Now, do we need the wording right now, Caroline, as far as, approve and then, allow the, staff to make the edits?
Sure,
and
right.
Grammatical, spelling check,
Right.
okay.
So a motion to approve the acceptance of the expenditure plan oversight committee fiscal year 2024-2025 annual oversight audit report as edited and
Allow staff to make.
Staff to make additional administrative or, either administrative or grammatical and formatting edits is maybe
right.
actually the most appropriate thing to call it.
Yeah.
Administrative could be interpreted broadly. So keep it narrow with format and grammar.
and then can you repeat that last part?
Maybe, can you let me know where your typing has ended off?
As edited.
Include, wait, okay, read it again.
Motion to approve the acceptance of the expenditure plan oversight committee fiscal year 2024-2025 annual oversight report as edited, including
And
and
to allow staff to make grammatical and formatting edits as needed.
And then who do I have making the motion?
I'll make the motion and I'm not repeating everything.
There's motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's been a second. And
Okay.
can we take a vote?
All right. Andrea Wheeler,
Yes.
Caitlin Dempsey Maurice,
Yes.
David Burkhart,
Yes.
Dennis Watson,
Yes.
Linda Marquez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Yes. All right, are there any informational reports from staff?
Do you have a second agenda item?
Oh, we do.
It's a quick one, I promise.
Um,
So,
anything.
yeah, I can just dive right into it, but now that the committee has their report, we need to coordinate the logistics of presenting it to the board. And so by committee responsibilities, we ask you to present it to the board. The chairperson duties include being the primary presenter. And so what we usually do at this time is identify an alternate presenter and then confirm like 2 board meetings that could work in the coming months to present it. As board agendas are still to be finalized, we'll pick 2. So we need an alternate presenter and 2 board meetings, to which we in the report offer and suggest July 23rd and August 27th, which are regularly scheduled board meetings coming up.
I'm open to somebody else being the follow-up this
I
year.
recommend Caitlin.
Yeah, I was gonna recommend Caitlin.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it'd be good for you to be at the board meeting. if
2
you-
recommendations.
Anyway,
Do
you can.
you agree, Daniel?
Sure. They're nice people.
So then, oh,
You think sometime in July?
July 23rd is the regularly scheduled board meeting in July, and August 27th is the regularly scheduled board meeting in August. For each of those months, they only have the singular meeting. So if those 2 dates work for you guys, staff would recommend we just kind of move forward, and we would aim for July unless something were to change with that agenda for the board.
It was 23rd, right? July 23rd?
July 23rd. No, and those are Thursday evening, 6:30 PM meetings.
Good for me.
Alternate,
Works for me.
great. Okay, so then we'll move forward with coordinating with the 2 of you to confirm when the agenda is finalized and making sure you guys are available to be there. Thank you.
I was just gonna make one request. I think I make it every single year. Do they have to have their secret meeting first?
Unfortunately, that's not something staff always, they're a closed session.
Yeah.
The timing of closed session is typically at the beginning of the meeting, even when we do have guests and visitors. So if so, we'll work to try to give a time estimate of the start time to David and Caitlin. And
Bring a book.
but
There's something come.
It's okay, I've been at many council meetings.
And through the chair, can we, do you mind if we have a motion, and a vote for that so we can put it in the minute?
A motion to present
Correct.
and at the particular times.
a motion to name Caitlin as alternate and that we will aim for the July and August meeting dates.
Do we need public comment option
And
first?
then, yeah, correct.
Members of the public? Want to comment?
No.
on this?
Members of
All right.
public have no comment.
All right.
And then just a point of clarification, are we confirming the meeting date today?
The July 23rd is the preferred
Okay.
date to start with.
So there's a motion. For
Motion to select David Burkhardt to present. And Caitlin Dempsey Maurice as alternate to present the annual oversight report to the board of directors at their July 23rd, 2026 meeting.
there a motion on the floor?
I motion we move forward with that.
Okay. Dennis makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Andrea seconds the motion.
Andrea Wheeler,
Yes.
Caitlin Dempsey Maurice,
Yes.
David Burkhardt,
Yes.
Dennis Watson,
Yes.
Linda Marquez.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right. And, would that be, informational, anything from the staff?
I'm sure, thank you, Chair, Lee Rauscher, Assistant General Manager. I suspect folks on this committee were watching, election results last night, and into today. And, I just want to briefly say, we're excited to see that Measure D, currently, or at least as I last checked this morning, sits at about 53%, which would suggest it will pass. However, I want to let the committee know that not all the votes are counted yet, so nothing is final. We expect to get final results certainly over these next several days or so. The pace at which all the votes are counted is really up to the registrar of voters. It's not something we control, and they certainly have their hands full. So we defer to, the schedule that they set to wrap this up. So I just wanted to let you know, while it's not final, we hope that in January, we'll be talking about what that will look like down the pike. Because not only do we need to confirm that we're 50% plus one, there's we need to actually receive the certified results before the end of June or by the end of June in order to submit paperwork to kick off collection. If it's going to be in fiscal year 26-27, then we have to spend money so that you have something to audit. So it's a ways off. I guess is the point of my long story here. I just wanted to let you know it's on our minds, and we will bring you more information as soon as possible. Caitlin.
I have a question. Would this create a separate Measure D committee, or would you move this oversight into this current committee?
The way the plan was written, the act says that it will utilize your committee. In which case we need to work together to figure out how to make audit of those transactions and revenue very clear and as easy as possible, which I think we can certainly do. We although Q and T were the same expenditure plans, this one's a little bit different, but we've got time to work all those details out.
That was looking pretty good when I looked last.
Thank you. That's the only update that I have.
Okay, thank you for that. Speaking for myself, I'm excited at the prospect of that passing. And, this is not that overwhelming support that Q or T had, but, there's the same prevailing conditions that, went against this, but, hopefully by next meeting for sure, we're all moving in that direction. So,
I was doubtful, to be honest with you, because there's so many other tax things going on right now that there's a next door, there's a lot of negativity about anything. And so I'm thankful. I was checking this morning too to make sure, but just a lot of, people get hit with a lot of different revenue things, taxation, tax things, and so they're just saying no to everything.
Yeah, but that's next door.
No.
Next door should just be called no door.
Mercury News Times.
That was the Mercury News, but that's the Mercury News. They say no to all taxes too. The average human being is like, yes, we want to support it. So I'm not saying I disagree with you that it was,
I just,
yeah.
it seemed like the audit that being about anything that would consider taxation, so it was I was definitely doubtful for the fact that everyone's negative about everything, so it's between the water going up and the trash collection going up, but everything, people get hit by a dozen things, it's really just passes, so.
The Paul Rogers article this morning, it was neutrally favorable about the outcome and presenting why there is a Measure D, so it's not all negative with the Mercury News.
Most of it is,
most of it is. And today is too late, right? Like,
Yeah.
we ran today, I get needed to run. Are you?
Are there any other reports from any of the subcommittees? Recruiting is, we're at 7 and that's great. Good to see that. So there's no other discussions? I don't have to move to adjourn, right? Declare. We're adjourned. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, good.
I think that the